And we are live with another episode. Actually, this is not another episode. This is Jewel Rider Moonstar's birthday cast. So
Happy
yeah,
birthday!
yeah, this is something special. Yeah. Um,
Thanks, boys.
So, how'd you like my gift?
And if anybody's wondering, I welcome you to this humble podcast. I am Jewel Eli Moon stage, and with me are of course Pinky Don.
Hello.
And our generous host, Mr. Red Fox.
Yeah. So yeah, we're basically this is Jewel's idea. She does a podcast every once in a while, but she's like hers are kind of like an eclectic mix. There's no centralized theme. Last time we talked about, if I remember correctly, different ideas to revitalize the Pokemon franchise, what we thought at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then this time we're doing something a little bit different. We're talking about games that have a futuristic setting that we like.
And I got two, but I'm only going to use one and guess the other that one of you two might.
All right. Well, Jewel, you can go first since your connection's a little rocky. And then Pinky, and then I'll go last. So Jewel, go.
Okay. With me, I got Mega Man Battle Network, the series, and it has a lot.
Right?
I'm not sure about Star Force, so on the air.
All right.
But still, that's pretty sure that people would actually want to enjoy having viruses, being sure that everything's in order.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I think the first game wasn't great, but the second and third games it got a lot better.
It's too bad it also.
As I said, I consider it as a series as a good idea of I didn't say which part because if anything, we could agree that it was a first step. We could just say that
it was a little basic, but then it really did get better after the first game. It got a lot better.
I mean, it's too bad that just like the previous Mega Man games, it suffered from sequelitis.
Sequelitis?
I don't know. It really didn't, because with each, the Mega Man games kind of like reach a pinnacle. Like typically the 2D Mega Man games reach a pinnacle, and then they start to go downhill. Battle Network with each iteration got better and more refined. Like it wasn't like, man, this is worse than the last one. Like they consistently got better. Like Mega Man Battle Network 1 is kind of basic. Battle Network 2 is a lot better because they added like armors, and the third one they added forms where you could like change your elemental form and stuff, so Mega Man could become like a ninja or a fire-based Mega Man or an ice-based Mega Man or a water-based. Like it was kind of cool how they had those different things. And then the fourth one, you had like the teams. That was the one where you could split between Team Proto Man and Team Mega Man. It was like, this is nice. This is a nice little game.
It really mixed things up. Live in the show.
And even the Battle Network series, kind of like, there's only 3 games in that franchise, but they're all really good. Like the Battle Network series kind of wasn't as innovative with each iteration. It just kind of got slightly better, but they were all really good in my opinion.
And 6 being the last one that concluded the entire series.
You mean Battle Network 6? Network 6 felt kind of forced because they were trying to transition it between the DS and the Game Boy Advance, but the game literally, it didn't take advantage of what the DS was capable of, and it just felt kind of like a lazy port. Like, I would have been happier had they just redone Mega Man done the entire Battle Network collection in one cartridge, because they could have done that. Because, I mean, those games reuse a lot of the same assets, I think.
Right. Any other futuristic games, Birthday Girl?
Well, if anything, I'm gonna guess what one of you two are gonna are going to call out F-Zero.
I was not going to say F-Zero. Maybe Pinky, though.
Actually, F-Zero wasn't the first thing I thought about. I was thinking about Xenoblade, maybe? I don't know. Does it technically count?
I'm actually surprised. Congratulations, you two. You're actually shocked.
Maybe Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade is more steampunk. X is more futuristic, but Xenoblade and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 are more steampunk than futuristic. Yeah. It's more like we had technology and now it's all gone. So we got this steampunk stuff, except they don't call it steampunk. It's like, you know, like magic crystals power the technology, but it's not like it's not technology as we would think of it, like high technology as we would think of it. Like especially like 2 doesn't even get high technological until the very end of the game. And then it's like, oh shit, technology. Because up until that point, the most high-tech thing you see is this almost steam-powered ship. I mean, they're like, man, that's high technology. It's steam-powered. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, I'm not saying it's not cool. I'm just saying it's, you know, it's not as...
Yeah, not as futuristic as it makes it up to be.
But you can go with it. I mean, especially if you look at X, because X had mechs and spaceships and aliens and shit.
And my second choice would have been Star Fox, maybe.
That's high tech. They've got mechs and chicken walkers and speeders and starfighters and a villain who's so powerful that he's transcended his body and he can use telekinesis to make an entire planet attack you. That's pretty damn badass right there.
Oh yeah.
Like I have to say, pound for pound, Andros is the most badass villain that Nintendo's ever made. If you really think about the type of power, because he's one of the few villains who actually succeeds. You know?
Yeah. Not to mention killing the main character's father, supposedly.
Yeah, you know, like normally, like Bowser kind of gets stopped halfway through. Like he never really, you know.
I was gonna say he either gets stopped or he gets his plan powerful.
Yeah, either he gets stopped halfway through, or just by the time he really gets everything, Mario comes and just wrecks his shit. Which, I mean, how badass can you be when one fat, chubby little plumber and his taller, skinnier brother can destroy your entire army? I mean, Bowser has airships, elite paratroopers, Hammer Brothers, giant.
It makes you wonder how he works his crew together.
Giant guns that shoot giant bullets.
7 generals.
His
Count Jr.
His bastard children that he cast off completely. The one child that I'll actually claim. Like Magic Koopas who have magic and can turn things into other things and make monsters get bigger and stuff like that. Like Petey Piranha, all this awesome stuff. And a little short fat ass plumber and his brother just kick your ass every time.
His plans down the drain.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, you're really not impressive. I'm sorry. In a practical sense, Bowser's cool, but in a practical sense, not a great villain.
At least he's a fun fight still.
Yeah, the fights are fun, but I'm just like, dude, that's not impressive. Then you've got Ganon, who would be impressive until you realize that Hyrule is just this one little country. And he just keeps on taking over this one little country. I'm like,
and that makes it real hard to take Ganon, because one is thinking more the world and the other is a kingdom.
Well, I mean, technically, Bowser takes over a continent. Let's say the Mushroom Kingdom and the other kingdoms around the Mushroom Kingdom are a continent. That's pretty badass, or a region. But Ganon's just taking over. He's taking over someplace that's like the size of France. And, I mean, that's cool, but it's still like the size of France.
That's a small reach. That's a small reach.
Yeah, it? I mean, you'd think people in Hyrule would just say, man, this place sucks. let's move. Let's just move the country. It's really we don't need to stay here.
And now we have Andros taking over an entire planet.
Solar system. He takes over an entire damn solar system. I mean, just for props alone, I gotta give. I mean, you know, that's
Some
props.
power.
Okay, Ganondorf. I mean,
and I'm also happy that in Star Fox Zero they gave him a proper body, because we only seen his head, his floating head.
They sort of gave him a body because. Yeah. If I don't know if you probably aren't old enough, but back in the day when Star Fox was being released, Nintendo Power had a series of like prequel comics to the Star Fox.
I've read those online before.
Yeah, and
those are ones.
Yeah, and they basically tell you the story. Andros did used to have a body, but then he did biological experiments on himself to increase his mental power. Like basically, and this is why I'll always say Andros was at his most badass in the original Star Fox, because this dude literally, like when you go to Planet Venom for the during the first course, which is the easiest, or the third course, which is the hardest, he's literally, there are no fighter ships on Venom when you're flying your R-Wing. He's literally using just telekinesis to make the planet attack you. I'm like, God damn, this is a badass motherfucker. Like, I don't ever want to hear someone say Ganondorf is badass. Can he make an entire planet attack Link? No. Then he needs to shut the fuck up.
It seems kind of unfair. It seems kind of unfair when a space monkey outclasses a medieval demon.
No, it makes sense because Ganondorf's a cheap bastard, because you have to remember he's the king of thieves. Almost all of the power Ganondorf has, he either stole or scrounged up. Like Andros's power is shit that he got himself. Like he built himself into what he is, which I gotta give props to. I'm like, damn. I mean, I might not like you as a villain, but I mean, you know, you might be an asshole, but that's pretty badass, you know.
And for the record, now my rank, Ganondorf is third, Bowser's second, and Andros hit the top.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of the scale of evil shit that they've done and the amount of people they've affected, I got to give Andros is number one. He's literally the most evil villain in the Star Fox, in the Nintendo lexicon of villains, because this.
Yeah, and I'm hoping he comes back in the next Star Fox game because he's such an iconic villain.
Yeah, and I hope they go back to his original look back in the day with that shitty mask that had no articulation, just as a throwback. And you blow it up and it's just this 6-sided cube. I just want to see that again. That was cool. But anyway, my game is a game. I have two. I chose two because, you know, why the hell not? The first one is Custom Robo, because it's a game where people fight in the future with little tiny robots that have guns and cannons and lasers and bombs and grenades and shotguns, just destroy each other in little coliseums. And my second game is Phantasy Star Online, because I mean, you're in space, you have essentially lightsabers, and you're fighting monsters. That's friggin' awesome, in my opinion. I know some people are going to get mad. How dare you, sir?
I guess that's it then.
Yeah. So what was the second one that you had, Jewel, that you want us to guess? Are you going to give us some hints? Or
I just guessed that one went with F-Zero, and I guessed wrong.
No, I didn't even go. You know why I didn't even think of F-Zero? Because there hasn't been a new F-Zero game in years. And no, Nintendo Land's F-Zero attraction does not count.
Nintendo's still trying to find a way to innovate this franchise. They even try to talk to Need for Speed developers to make a new F-Zero game for them, but they declined. That's what I read.
Well, okay then. You know what? I have an idea they could use to revamp F-Zero. turn it and here's an idea. It's a wild idea. I know some people might get angry, but I think F-Zero franchise needs to evolve. Make an F-Zero game, but make it into an open world action adventure game. Yeah, you have your racers where you can drive around and stuff and do races, but explore Captain Falcon as the bounty hunter. Like, do Captain Falcon before he became a bounty hunter. Like, have the entire game be him doing bounties and doing races to get enough money to upgrade his ship so that he can finally get his nemesis. I don't know who his nemesis is. Like, everyone says
Samurai Goro.
Everyone says Samurai Goro, but that's not really his nemesis. Samurai Goro thinks Samurai Goro is Falcon's nemesis, but Falcon's like, yeah, whatever, dude.
I just realized that I was thinking what you guys on this one, that we want F-Zero to be open world, but why not have it like when you're trying to do some of the Burnout series?
Why not making it a futuristic GTA game?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, make it before Captain Falcon became Captain Falcon. Like, literally have him doing bounties and stuff where maybe like he's on foot, he's chasing down people, and then like they get in their vehicle, he's got to chase them down in his vehicle, but he doesn't have the Great Falcon yet, or his blue, or his or any of his iconic stuff yet. He's still getting to that point. And then like maybe like 2/3 of the way through the game, he finally gets his iconic helmet and the blue, like he finally gets enough money to build his ultimate ship and everything. And it's his iconic, Captain Falcon thing, and he's in like that'd be cool. But have it like, that, because I mean Captain Falcon is pretty badass. Maybe you could have him use melee attacks. And he'd be fighting like he does in Smash Brothers, and he has a taunt and show me your moves. Like he beats somebody down. It's like, show me your moves.
By the way, the character you're thinking who may be Captain Falcon's arch nemesis would be Black Shadow.
Yeah, Black Shadow. Although we can't have it in like it did in the animated series, where he did a Falcon punch that was so hard it blew up half of the galaxy. We can't have that. Punch! Oh no!
That would be a cinematic cutscene that would be funny.
Yeah, that'd be weird. That'd be some Capcom shit where you got to buy the real ending. They're like, if you want to see what happened after this explosion, give us $5. That'd be some Capcom shit, but yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome. For those of you who are listening, this is Jules' birthday cast, and if you have any questions, right now we're just talking random ideas because this is kind of a random cast, but it's always good to have people to talk to and fun stuff to yak on about and discuss and parse.
Well, there's a couple of news that came out this week that I'm not I'm debating whether or not I should save them for the next PS Busters podcast.
Well,
no, man, you can bring them up.
Well, because recently Doom got a new patch that allows motion aiming.
Yeah, I saw that.
Motion aiming.
And that's cool. I like that.
So I'm still wondering if that applies only for when it's portable mode, or does it also apply in dock mode?
I think that as long as you have the Wiimotes out, or not the Wiimotes. Well, I mean, basically, essentially the left and right pro controllers are essentially like a Wiimote. It's like Wiimote 3.0, really. So I mean, it kind of, I mean, as long as you have those out, I'm guessing then it works. If you have that mode selected, which really, I'm gonna keep it real. Playing a first-person shooter, this is like the best way to play a first-person shooter. The Wiimote was the best way to play a first-person shooter on a console. Like literally, the only thing better is a mouse and keyboard, which I have played a mouse and keyboard for a controller, so I know what I'm talking about.
And also, in recent news, Call of Duty World War II directors leave Sledgehammer, the studio they founded.
Well, that franchise is dead.
Or as some people would like to say, this is Mark for Doom. There's no way.
It's dead.
I'm
Super
sorry.
dead.
That was
World War
just
dead.
wrong of me there.
And also, Dark Horse is going to be releasing Super Mario Encyclopedia this October.
If it's
And
like,
Mario.
If it's like that Zelda encyclopedia they did, then no bet.
I was about to say, I thought you were going to say, nope. Get out of here. Nope.
I'm, you know,
I think he broke.
No, I just said I don't like. I didn't like. I have the Hyrule Historia thing, the first one that came out. I got it at Walmart for like $10 because it was on a sale because they had too many of them.
And let me guess, it wasn't good for you even then.
No, it has great illustrations. It looks gorgeous, but the problem is that
Continuity.
Well, the problem is that, like, here's the thing. If you try to understand the Legend of Zelda timeline, it sucks. If you try to make it make sense, it's gonna make your head hurt. So, I mean, I'm just saying, why don't you just enjoy the game for what it is and just play the games for what they are? You know, don't try and this story needs to go like this.
But this is how fans enjoy, because and trying to piece out the timeline is what fans enjoy the most, so that way they can enjoy it more than they usually do.
And I have to wonder, how the Hades do they factor in the Hyrule Warriors, as in bringing all those timelines together?
Because Hyrule Warriors isn't canonical. Because Hyrule Warriors isn't canonical.
Yeah.
It's like Smash Brothers isn't canonical. Like, you have all these. Here's what we know. Okay, here's what we know about the. Here's what is known about the Nintendo universe as a whole. Okay, Mario, Donkey Kong, and Bowser, their worlds are connected. That's all one world, right?
Right.
They haven't had a crossover yet, like a real crossover, which would be cool. A Donkey Kong, Mario, open world action adventure platforming game would be awesome.
I was hoping that the next Mario and Luigi RPG game is a crossover with the Donkey Kong series.
That'd be cool.
So that way we can have the Donkey Kong bosses as the Mario and Luigi bosses.
And Wario also kind of sort of exists in the same universe too. But here's where it's different. See, canonically, Wario used to be in the same world as Mario and, Donkey Kong and all of them. But at the end of at Wario Land 2, Wario's Adventure, Super Mario Land 3, Wario's Adventure, Wario canonically basically gets so much money that he creates his own planet. And that's Wario World. So basically,
that is twisted.
Yeah, he's basically wished. Well, basically, at the end of that game, he fights Captain Syrup, who stole this massive golden Princess Peach statue. Wario is trying to get the bounty, but basically, after he defeats Captain Syrup and he defeats her, she drops this genie, this lamp, which Wario rubs in this genie, and the genie's like, "Well, I can grant you one wish, but you got to give me money." And that's what you do with all those treasures. Now, if you max out the treasures, you get a world. Okay, like if you max out all the money, period, you get a world. If you get the next closest thing underneath that, like all the treasures, but you don't max out, you get a castle. Now, canonically, you're supposed to go with the castle, but technically, he also got a world, so it's like his own little thing. But so Wario's world doesn't take. It's not intricate. It's not intricately connected to Mario's world, even though they share some similarities.
Not to mention that the WarioWare series shares a connection with the Rhythm Heaven series.
Well,
they share the same art style.
Well, I mean, you can't really go by art style. You have to go by character connection and world connection, because they're games that share a similar art style that aren't connected in the traditional sense. But that's neither here nor there. Legend of Zelda is its own thing. It's its own universe. But oddly enough, here's something that does have a connection: the Kirby universe and the Metroid universe.
And what about the Kid Icarus universe?
That's kind of its own thing because there's no.
But they have Metroids in it, but they're not called Metroids.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that was just them reusing assets. I think they used the same engine for Kid Icarus as they did for
Metroid. Yeah.
For Metroid, so I think that was just them reusing assets in order to save memory. Like, oh shit, we can use this, and we don't have to, use more. We don't have to. We can save that memory for something else. Not to mention that first Kid Icarus game is hard, unnecessarily so.
Not to mention, I heard that in the Japanese version, if you beat the game as fastly as possible, you'll get a worse ending.
Probably. Let's see. That's it. I mean, there's not a huge connection with all those worlds, so you can't use the stuff that happened in Hyrule Warriors as an example for, something that happened in the Legend of Zelda timeline. Basically, from what I understand, there was Ocarina of Time is the cleft point for the Legend of Zelda series. Ocarina of Time is when you have the split. Okay, there's into three different distinct timelines. There's a timeline where Link is defeated by Ganondorf. That timeline leads to Wind Waker.
Well, it actually leads to a Link Between Worlds, a link to the past.
No, it's not Link to the Past. Ocarina of Time leads to Wind Waker because the timeline that basically says that Link is defeated by Ganondorf, that is the timeline where essentially that's the Wind Waker thing that's the Wind Waker thing where he's defeated. That's the Wind Waker timeline. The timeline where Link defeats Ganondorf and comes back, that leads to
the Majora's Mask. The timeline.
No. The Majora's Mask timeline is the one where he disappears.
I think you got them all mixed up.
No.
Let me see if I can find it.
Ladies and gentlemen, because this happens a lot when you're working with geeks.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's time. So, I do have them mixed up. The one where the Majora's Mask is where Link is turned into a kid and he disappears. That leads to the Wind Waker. The one where he wins and defeats Ganondorf leads to the original Legend of Zelda storyline. The Oracle of Ages, the Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, Link's Awakening, Legend of Zelda, the original Legend of Zelda. That's that timeline. The one where he's defeated leads to you were right, Link to the Past.
I just remembered Google Images removes the view image option.
But anyway, basically, yeah, Ocarina of Time is the cleft point for three distinct realities. One in which Link disappears and never shows up. That leads to Wind Waker, because if you remember reading the Wind Waker thing, they're like, well, Link, the hero who was supposed to show up never showed up. That's because his ass was in Termina in Majora's Mask. Okay, and he never came back. Apparently, he really was dead. I don't know, but he never showed up. And
that's some weird beep.
Well, I mean, you have to say the most successful Link is the Link in Wind Waker because he actually kills Ganondorf. He permanently kills Ganondorf. He kills him. He never comes back. I'm like, you know what? I got to give props to you for permanently killing that son bitch. Because no other Link has managed to permanently kill Ganondorf except for Link to the Past Link.
Or what about Twilight Princess Link? Oh wait, it was Zan who does the killing for him.
Well, no, in Twilight Princess Link, Ganondorf was behind the whole thing. That story's been used before, because if you play the Four Swords game for the GameCube, you think it's
you think it was Vadi, but nope.
Yeah, it's Vadi. It's Ganondorf. He's just been using Vadi, which, I mean, look, listen. Ganondorf, I mean, here's what people forget. Yeah, Ganondorf is the big blue pig guy, but he's also a military leader, king of the thieves. You know, he's very crafty. He's very, very crafty.
The tactical.
Yeah. Why do something for himself? I mean, I'm just like, well, I mean, you're so.
The only thing I think that hasn't lost or hasn't stolen is the Triforce.
Well, I always had the personal fan theory that the Triforce of Power isn't supposed to go to Ganondorf anyway. I think he stole that too.
He stole that?
Yeah. Because think about it. The Triforce of Wisdom goes to Princess Zelda. Princess Zelda, we can all agree, is a quote-unquote good guy, right?
Right.
She is the wisest of them all.
Well, I mean, I don't know if she's the wisest, but she's a good guy. So it goes...
Because some of those princesses, well...
I think Impa is wiser than Princess Zelda is.
Probably because Zelda is the reincarnation of the goddess Helia, which is why she gets the Triforce of Wisdom.
Or even Midna from Twilight Princess was wiser than, in my opinion, than Princess Zelda. I think the whole she's wise, like the Triforce doesn't make you wise. The Triforce just goes to people that it kind of it's like predisposed to go to that person, but that doesn't necessarily make them wise. Like Ganondorf is arguably supposed to be really, really powerful. Then why is he always getting his ass kicked by Link? Link's not that strong. Physically, he isn't. He definitely doesn't have the Triforce of Power, but he kicks his ass every time. Well, almost every time. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, you know, you can't go by those tropes. But anyway, she's arguing. I mean, Zelda, despite her things, is a good person. Link, despite the fact that in the games he's like a mute bastard. Say something. Say something. No, he's a good person. But Ganondorf is evil. Like in almost every incarnation of Ganondorf, he's kind of a dick. And yet, the Triforce of Power keeps on going to him. I think he keeps on stealing it. I don't think it's supposed to go to Ganondorf. I mean, he is the king of thieves. It would make sense that, you know, maybe there's some poor bastard in Hyrule who's supposed to have the Triforce of Power, but it keeps on getting stolen every time it appears.
All right, now back to the news. There's one more news I want to talk about, and it's once again Capcom screwing up.
Okay, let's go.
This time,
Mega Man Legacy Collections 1+2 for the Switch. Part Legacy Collection 1 has a physical release, whereas Legacy Collections 2 is going to be digital only.
So if you buy the first game, you get the second game with it, or
it's basically both of them together. It's just that the first one is only physical only, whereas the second part is digital only.
Well, you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Capcom being a beep.
No, it's just them being cheap. It's them not wanting to spend the money to get a bigger.
Capcom being a beep. Because they don't want to shell out that.
Yeah, they don't want to put the extra money out there to get a bigger cartridge. So instead, which is weird because
the funny part, if I remember right,
are not huge. I don't understand why they can't get a normal size cartridge.
That's the thing that bugs me. And the funny thing I also noticed, someone actually said that this was on Nintendo by a tweet, right, Pinky?
Yep, I found it when I was reading through the comments about the box, about the news.
Yeah, that's weird to me because I'm like, I mean, this is their cheap asses, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's Resident Evil Revelations all over again, where they have one physical only, whereas Resident Evil Revelations 2 digital only. It just reeks of laziness from Capcom's part.
Well, I mean, that's what Capcom does. They're cheap cheap, lazy ass bastards. They, I mean, we can agree on that, right? We can.
How cheap, they're lazy, and they don't know what quality is if it could punch.
Well, this is Capcom. That's what they do. They're lazy bastards.
Now I know why people put a R next to this name.
Yo, man, I'm Capcom. We do the bare minimum. The bare friggin' minimum. Which is so annoying.
And I guess that's about it. Oh, wait. Other than the fact that the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is being slated for a fall 2019 release.
Oh, God. Okay, I have to say this. I have to say this. How the fuck are you going to make a Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
And it's said to be, it's confirmed to be live action.
When you can't even make a good Sonic the Hedgehog 3D game. I mean, am I the only one who's like, that seems kind of
I sometimes wonder how some of these people do this.
Like they can't even make a good 3D Sonic the Hedgehog game. Why are they trying to make a Sonic the Hedgehog movie when they can't even make a good? And you know what it's gonna be? It's gonna be some Smurfs animated movie shit. No, live action. It's gonna be some Smurfs live action.
It's confirmed to be live action. And,
oh god!
And according to Reddit leaks, it's gonna be more of an abridged version of the Sonic Adventures storyline with no Knuckles.
Well,
pardon me. I think I just found that.
And what's even funny is that it's the same release. It's going to be the same. It's going to be released on the same year that the Mario animated movie is going to be released on.
So
it's like Sonic just can't stop getting his ass kicked by that plumber, can he? I guess he likes getting his ass beat by a fat, chubby little plumber. I know Nintendo's like, he's not a plumber anymore. Fuck you, he's a plumber. You know.
And I guess that's about it.
What?
I guess that's about it with all the news in the gamosphere so far.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's more that drops in right when Wednesday.
Well, I mean, you know, it is what it is. Any other things I want to bring up while we're here? Okay, I'll do another shameless plug for Black Panther. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
And if you're yourself, don't come to Red Fox's cast next week. I mean, later this week, because he's gonna wreck everything.
Oh, and Mr. Red Fox, what are your thoughts on the death battle between Black Panther and Batman?
Makes sense. I mean, Black Panther is objectively a better hero than Batman. Think about it. Batman struggles to keep Gotham safe. Right?
Right.
Like, villains are always escaping from jail. I mean, from Arkham Asylum because he won't put them in jail. Like, how many people are really keep on popping up against Wakanda? Wakanda's never been invaded. Right? Never been invaded. Right? And here's the thing. Like, arguably, like, Batman is badass because they write him to be badass, but Black Panther's gone up against some of the most dangerous people in the Marvel Universe and has beaten them, like Dr. Doom. And Dr. Doom's hard to beat. He's a bad mojo. He's a bad mamma jamma.
Not to mention that he wears a suit made of vibranium, so he is immune to two other weapons other than vibranium-based weapons.
Well, it's not really made of vibranium. It's something else. It's not made out of like vibranium. I think vibranium might be a part of it, but that suit has like all types of magic and shit in it, and like it's got like runes carved into it and magic spells and technology.
It's basically a hybrid.
Yeah, well, not that Dr. Doom's suit is basically like a MacGuffin. It's like it's kind of like how vibranium was in that movie. It's like, hey man, physics don't work like that. Vibranium. It's like, how'd you do that? Vibranium. No, that doesn't work. Vibranium. It's like, okay, whatever.
Vibranium is not a super metal.
It is in the Marvel. It is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It can do everything. It can withstand a blow from Thor's hammer. It can hit Loki. It can do everything. It can block energy beams. It can do everything. It's vibranium.
I was gonna say, including being spandex suits.
It can look, man. I don't know if you've seen Black Panther, Joel. Have you?
I've been trying to see it though. If anything, this is the reason why I said whoever comes to your sci-fi podcast this week, try to avoid it if you don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, because we will be doing a spoiler-free. We will be doing a spoiler review of it. But the first part we're going to be talking about I'll be talking about my thoughts about Star Trek Discovery, or as we lovingly call it, STD. And hopefully I can get a shot of penicillin to help clear that shit up, because woo boy, that's a tough show to watch. STD. But anyway,
that big these things.
Yeah, it's gonna get a little Trekky. It's gonna get a little Trekky-ish because I am a Star Trek fan. I won't rail too much on STD because, to keep it real, I didn't watch it. I read the cliff notes for the episodes, and I watched a few clips of it, and I was like, yeah, this is some bullshit. Because I saw the first 3 or 4 episodes, and I was like, nope, not for me. I was like, I'm done. And then we'll do the spoiler cast for Black Panther. If you would like to be a part of the Black Panther spoiler cast and you've seen it, you can send me a. I'll leave a link where you can leave me your name and information, and I'll contact you. We'll have a dialogue, and you can join the podcast. Sunday's BS Busters, where, obviously we'll talk about the bullshit of the week. We've already dug in a little bit into it with Capcom messing up, as per the usual. That should be their thing. We're Capcom. We mess up. That's what we do. But that's the end of the podcast. Anything you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
Oh, nothing much other than. So, Joe, how was that GIF I gave you on Google Plus? The video I shared to you.
I didn't check it yet because of anything. I was actually trying to be prepared after some of the things lately. And if anybody's wondering, I got 2 pluses and a minus. The pluses are Kirby Battle Royale and if anybody doesn't know that one, I'm gonna let you guess for a bit. And my minus, Sonic Forces.
Yeah, that's not a good game.
Definitely.
There was no.
Relatively short it is.
Well, not just that. It's just.
Yeah, and also how the mechanics don't lack so much polish.
It's unimaginative. It's unimaginative is the problem. Like it's for some reason the Sonic games just cannot. they can't evolve.
Medium was a great game, and then they showed us Forces.
Well, I mean, like, okay, it's cool that you can create your own character in that game. That's actually a cool thing, and they have little special abilities and stuff that you can use, and they can have different styles of gameplay. That's cool, but really, like they either should have just focused on that, and Sonic should have been like a side character, or it should have just been a Sonic game, like the no risk Sonic game where you just run around, run down a corridor, dodging enemies. It's like you can't give me one interesting mechanic and then layer it with a whole bunch of garbage, which is what they did.
Yeah. In fact, this brings up something that I recently saw thanks to a friend. I think Brownie was the one that pulled it up, of how to bring Super Sonic up while having Sonic as well, because people are saying Sonic's now that he doesn't need Super Sonic.
Well, I mean, I just don't think it's very good. And if you want to play a good Sonic game, go play Sonic Mania. You'll be much happier.
Or look through time capsules and find Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, or you can do that. Whatever.
But if anything, I thank every one of you for joining us. I'm Jewel Rider Eli Moonstar.
And I'm Red Fox.
And I'm Piggy Dawn. And
we bid you adieu. And Jewel, happy birthday. But mostly, happy birthday to her and adieu to you guys. So, good night. Auf Wiedersehen. Enjoy. Be safe. And go watch Black Panther, damn it.
Some juice while you're at it.
And stay away from the OJ.